Hello friends, I am Dr. Mrs. Wagh from KTHM College, Nasik. Today we will discuss one of the important topic in statistics which we call it as regression analysis. So regression analysis is a topic which is always used to estimate the future values of one variable when the values of another variables are given. Last year we have discussed the relationship between two variables, and especially we discussed relationship between two variables in a linear form or in a non-linear form. In linear form we fitted a regression equation of y on x and the another regression equation which is regression equation of x on y. Similarly, we have computed the regression coefficients byx and bxy, and we have estimated some of the y and x values by considering the particular regression equations. Similarly, for bivariate data, we have discussed how to fit exponential or parabolic curve to the given bivariate data. The history of regression analysis is back 300 years back. A French mathematician, Adrien Marie Legendre and Carl Gauss published the first form of regression. Both these mathematicians wrote about the method of least squares which we are using to estimate the regression coefficients. Further, Sir Francis Galton, a British statistician, coined the term regression. He used the term regression in the 19th century. He used the term while describing the people's height through generations. His study showed that the height of descendants of very tall or short ancestors tended to move downwards or upwards respectively. That is, downwards to the normal range. In other words, Galton showed this property as regression to mediocrity, that is, back to the average. This means that regression towards the mean. Further, Carl Pearson has defined a correlation coefficient which is covariance of xy divided by square root of variance of x into variance of y, or in the form ssxy upon root of ssx into ssy. There are certain properties of this correlation coefficient R. The first thing is this R always measures the relative strength of linear relationship between the two variables. Further, the unit of R is nil, that is R is unitless. Range of R is from -1 to +1. When R is exactly equal to -1, then there is a perfect negative linear relationship between the variables. When R is close to 1 or nearer to 1, there is a stronger positive relationship between x and y which is in the linear form. And when R is 0, we say that there is a very weak linear relationship between xy, and x and y are said to be uncorrelated in this case. Now these are certain scatter plots which shows various values of correlation coefficients. Scatter diagram is drawn by taking one variable on x-axis and other variable on y-axis. Generally, x is independent variable and y is a dependent variable which depends on x. In the first diagram, when all points lie on a single straight line, we say that there is a perfect relationship. Further, we can see that the path of the points is from upper right to the lower left, and therefore this is the case where you can see negative correlation. One value increases, the other decreases simultaneously, and therefore R is -1. In the second case, we can see that all the points are around a straight line, and therefore though the path of the points is from upper left to lower right, you can see that there is a negative correlation between two variables, and since all points are not on a single straight line, the correlation coefficient comes out to be -0.6. In the third case, we can see that the points are on both sides of the line, and the line is horizontal and parallel to x-axis. That is, there is no evidence of correlation between the two variables, so r is 0, and you can say that the variables are uncorrelated. In this fourth figure, you can see that r is plus 1 because all the points lie on a single straight line, and the path of the points is from lower left to upper right, and therefore this shows that there is a positive correlation between x and y, and r is exactly equal to plus 1. Perfect. See, similarly here you can see that the points are too much scattered from this line of regression or a line from center, so this shows that r is plus 3, or very weak correlation, positive correlation between x and y, for the path of the points is from lower left to upper right. Here also you can see that r is 0 because though the points are on a straight line, there is no evidence that x and y are related with each other, and therefore these are the cases where you can say in a crude manner whether there is any relationship between two variables or not. Now, up till now we have discussed linear relationship. Suppose similarly in these two diagrams you can see that there is a linear relationship between two variables, and as one value of x increases, on an average value of y is also increasing, and therefore this is the example of linear correlation, and you can see that there may exist linear relationship between two variables. But in this case, if you compute Karl Pearson's correlation coefficient r, so this correlation coefficient r comes out to be 0 because this is the combination of two lines, one is this way and the other is this way, so the null effect gives that correlation coefficient is 0. That means it shows that x and y are uncorrelated, but you can see that there is a perfect relationship between x and y which is not linear, and therefore this is curvilinear relationship between the two variables. Note that here the curvilinear relationship exists, and in that case we cannot depend on the value of r, that is Karl Pearson's correlation coefficient r. Now up till now we have discussed statistics as a science of data, and it consists of collection, compilation, analysis and interpretation of numerical data. Further, statistics we call it as science of data, but nowadays it has different meaning other than this. In the statistic we study methods that can be used to solve the problems and to build knowledge. Further, statistics make data into information, and statistical tools are used to develop an appreciation of variability and study its effect on product, process and system in a large systems. Further, understanding the relationship between the two or more variables and expressing it in a mathematical form is the main purpose of regression analysis, and for that purpose we try to find out appropriate regression model, and we use this model for estimating the present and used to predict the future. Now, the modern interpretation of regression can be discussed as follows. The study of relationship of one variable known as dependent variable on one or more other variables, that is explanatory variables, which are also known as independent variables. Further, we are trying to estimate and predict the average value of dependent variables, which we generally call it as y, in terms of known values of independent variables, that is say x1, x2, x3, etc. is called as regression. So regression analysis is basically a statistical tool or a method that is very useful for studying the relationship between any two or more variables. Now, according to science, the types of relationship between the variables may be deterministic and statistical. Now, what do you mean by deterministic? All of us know in physics we have studied Hooke's law. Hooke's law is equal to say y is equal to alpha plus beta x. where y is amount of stretch in a spring and x is applied force. As force increases, the stretch, amount of stretch on a spring is also increasing, and therefore there is a linear relationship between y and x, and we can denote it by y is equal to alpha plus beta x. Now what is the difference between this and whatever we have discussed previously? In this case, the amount of force x, amount of weight x applied on the spring is directly proportional to y, or y is directly proportional to x, but this is the exact law. So for given value of x, you will definitely get one and single value of y. Similarly, we have studied Ohm's law, V is equal to IR or I is equal to V upon R, where I is current and V is voltage applied. So I is directly proportional to V, and V is equal to IR is the exact equation where R is resistance. Further, we have studied Boyle's law, a gas equation, PV is equal to alpha. When temperature is constant, P is inversely proportional to V, and PV is equal to alpha, where alpha is constant for a gas. And these are exact laws which we have studied. That is, for given value of one variable, we will definitely and certainly determine the value of other variable with 100% certainty or with 100% surety. So these are the exact laws, and therefore these particular experiments are called as deterministic or functional relationship between the two variables. Further, one example I have here demonstrated, that is, we know that Fahrenheit is dependent of Celsius. So F is equal to 95C plus 32. So this is universal equation. Once C is given to you, you can 100% determine the value of F. So if you draw the graph of Celsius versus Fahrenheit, all the points lie on a single straight line. That is, for given value of Celsius, we will get one and only one value of Fahrenheit. So this particular relationship is exact. Now in statistics, we are dealing with non-deterministic models. Non-deterministic model means for a given experiment, you can think of what will be the possible outcome, but the exact outcome you cannot decide, and therefore there is uncertainty in getting the outcome of the experiment. For example, consider this example. Here, this is the graph, or you can say scatter diagram of latitude at center of the state, which is which is on x-axis, and mortality, that is deaths per 10 million people due to skin cancer. So this is the scatter diagram of skin cancer mortality versus state latitude. We know that the sun rays, some type of sun rays causing skin cancer. So in this case, the response variable y, that is mortality due to skin cancer, and the predictor variable is x, that is latitude degrees north at the center of each of 49 states in US. This particular data shows that there is not a perfect relationship between x and y, and therefore there exists a statistical relationship in which the relationship between the two variables is not perfect, but we can think that as we go away from latitude, the skin cancer, the probability of skin cancer decreases. So this is the example of negative correlation between two variables, and here you can see that the coefficient of x is minus 5.98, which seems to be have a negative sign, which shows that there is a negative relationship between two variables. So another examples of regression, we can think of non-deterministic models are height and weight. As height increases, generally we expect weight to increase, but not with 100% relationship exist. Further, another example is if you consider vital lung capacity and another variable is years of smoking, so an amount of smoking increases as, and then we expect lung function to decrease, but not with 100% surety. Further, driving speed of a car and gas mileage given by it is also related. As driving speed increases, we expect that gas mileage to decrease, and this relationship is again exist, but with not with 100% surety, and there is no perfect relationship between these variables, and therefore in all these cases these are all non-deterministic models, or which we call it as statistical relationship between the variables. So according to the number of variables under consideration and the type of relationship between the variables, we discuss two types of regression models. The first is simple regression model, which may be further divided into simple linear regression model and simple non-linear regression model. Similarly, multiple regression model can also be subdivided into multiple linear regression model and multiple non-linear regression model. So we have a four-way classification regression models divided into simple and multiple, and each one of them further divided into linear and non-linear regression models. So in a simple regression model, we are considering two variables only. In multiple regression models, we will discuss more than two variables, where one variable is dependent and other variables are independent. Therefore, regression models we are going to bifurcate into two things. The first one is simple regression model, in which we have two variables under consideration. The dependent variable is y, independent variable is x. And in multiple regression models, the dependent variable is y and independent variables may be x1, x2, x3 and so on. Further, these can be divided into simple linear regression model and non-linear regression model. In non-linear regression model, we can think of polynomial relationship, we can think of parabolic relationship, second degree, then exponential relationship or logistic relationship. Further, these multiple regression models are again divided into linear and non-linear regression models. Now in this term we are going to discuss linear regression model, logistic regression models. Therefore, we will write down the definition of linear regression model as follows. The regression analysis is a technique of studying the dependence of one variable, say x, on one or more variables, explanatory variables, say x1, x2, x3, with a view to estimate or to predict the average value of the dependent variable y in terms of known or fixed values of independent variables, say x1, x2, x3. And the simple linear regression is a statistical method that allows us to summarize and study the relationship between two quantitative variables. One variable is x, which is a predictor or explanatory variable, which is also we call it as independent variable. And the variable of interest is y, is the response variable, which we also called it as outcome or dependent variable. Now the simple linear regression model we define as y is equal to beta naught plus beta 1x plus epsilon. Further, the non-linear regression models are exponential model, which we can write it as y is equal to alpha is a constant x raised to beta plus error component epsilon, or in the other way y is equal to alpha beta raised to x plus epsilon. Further, this is power model, where your variables x1, x2, xi may be in the power form and epsilon is the error component. Further, the logistic growth model is also called as growth model, which is e to the power beta naught plus beta 1x upon 1 plus e to the power beta naught plus beta 1x plus epsilon. and this is the polynomial model in which we have constants beta naught, beta 1, beta 2 and epsilon, and here the variable y is a dependent variable which depends on the powers of x square, x raised to n, etc. And in general, non-linear regression models can be written as y is equal to f of x beta plus epsilon, where x is the variable which is independent variable, beta are the regression coefficients, and epsilon is the error component. Now, as discussed earlier, our simple linear regression model is y is equal to beta naught plus beta 1x plus epsilon, where beta naught is called as y-intercept. That is, putting x is equal to 0 in this equation, you will get y is equal to beta naught, and beta 1 is called as slope of the regression line, where epsilon is the random error component. And for this random error component, we have two assumptions, namely these errors are normally and independently distributed with mean 0 and variance sigma square, and further, that is this epsilon IID normal 0 sigma square. Further, the variable x is with no error or with very less or negligible error, and further response variable y has probability distribution at each possible value of x. So predicted value for an individual is yi is equal to beta naught plus beta 1 into xi plus random error I. For ith value of y, by estimating with ith value of x, there is some error component which is epsilon I. Therefore, these are fixed and exactly on the, so these two values are fixed and exactly on the line, and this random error follows normal distribution. So if you show it graphically, this is your regression line, and these for one value of x, for a particular value of x, these are the possible values of yi hat for given values of beta naught and beta 1. Similarly, for another value of xi, these are the possible values of yi values. You can see that a standard error of y is given for given value of x is the average variability around the regression line at any given value of x, and it is assumed to be equal at all values of x. So here x is constant and y is varying. Syx is the variance of y at given point of x. So we already mentioned that your error component follows normal distribution with mean 0, and therefore these are the possible graphs. This is a possible graph of y values for given particular value of x at different values of x. So using the above expression, the conditional expectation of given at fixed value of x is given by expected value of y given x. We denote it by mu y given x is equal to beta naught plus beta 1x plus expected value of epsilon, because x is constant throughout the line, and therefore beta 1 expected value of x is x, so it is beta naught plus beta 1x, because expected value of epsilon is 0. Therefore expected value of yi given xi is given by beta naught plus beta 1 xi. Similarly, we will prove that variance of y given x is sigma square y given x is variance of beta naught plus beta 1x plus epsilon, which is variance of beta naught plus variance of beta 1x plus variance of epsilon, but beta naught and beta 1 are constants. X is also steady for given value of x, and therefore variance of x is also 0, and therefore variance of epsilon is sigma square. Therefore the results up till now we have discussed what do you mean by correlation between two variables, what is the linear relationship between two variables, how you can write a simple linear regression model for given value of x where beta naught and beta 1 are regression coefficients, and those are estimated using method of least square. Further, if the range of data set includes 0, that is by substituting x is equal to 0, we get expected value of y given x is beta naught by putting x is equal to 0 here. And further, the intercept beta naught is the mean of distribution of y when x is 0, and if the range of x does not include 0, then beta naught has no practical interpretation. Further, the slope, another parameter slope, beta 1 is the change in the mean value of y, which is slope, a rate of change of y for given value of x produced by unit change in x, and at x is equal to x, expected value of y given x is equal to beta naught plus beta 1 x. If you give one increment to x, that is if you write x is equal to x plus 1, we have here x plus 1, so that it is beta naught plus beta 1 x plus beta 1. By simply subtracting 2 minus 1, we get the estimate of beta 1, and therefore the variance of y does not depend on the value of x, and therefore variance is constant. Now, in the same lecture, now we'll continue with estimation of the parameters by least square method, that is estimation of beta naught and beta 1 by least square method. Then we will discuss some properties of regression coefficient beta naught and beta 1. Then we will discuss residual. Residual is epsilon I, which is y minus y cap, where y cap is the estimated value of y as given by the regression equation. Further, we will estimate the variance sigma square. Then we will discuss some interval estimations of beta naught, beta 1 and sigma square. Further, we will discuss some test for beta naught and beta 1, whether beta naught and beta 1 are significant or not, that can be tested using some test. And then we will discuss analysis of variance and coefficient of determination.